Hey there, Ryan the Ride Mechanic. I've gotten questions before about they said I went on a steel roller coaster and it was really bumpy. And I've ridden other steel roller coasters and they were really nice and smooth. Why such the difference between those two?
Now get ready. Here we go.
And there's so many variables in this subject. There's too many to really compensate for, but you have, first of all, every train out there pretty much has a suspension in it. The road wheels, guide wheels, upstops, almost everything is sitting in some type of, like they have the axle like this. It's sitting in some type of an elastomer like that, so the vibration and stuff can get absorbed from the track, just to prevent cracking and fatigue in components. So what happens is that all that rubber and all that insulation between everything, it allows everything to move and absorb shock. Well, that's the suspension for the train. It's going to determine how your ride is. The track design is another big subject there, because depending on where you are in relationship to where the track is, it will also determine how bumpy it is, because sometimes when you're further away from the track, that little tiny smidge of movement next to the track or where the track is, that's your plus or minus tolerance in the rails and stuff like that. If you're like, let's say, an underslung vehicle and you're 5 feet, 6 feet away from where the track is, well, if I move the track just a millimeter like that, then 6 feet away, you're going to be moving half a foot down there. It's quite a big range of movement. So the other thing is wheel carrier design. A lot of manufacturers use a 6-wheel wheel carrier, which is what I always preferred. Personal preference, nothing else. And that's where you have 2 road wheels, 2 guide wheels, and then 2 upstop wheels. The upstop wheels are mirrored with the road wheels. And what that allows you to do, it allows you to hold both the top and the bottom of the rail while the rail chortles. So the rail, as it turns, as it curves up and curves down, it does this. So if you have 2 wheels like this, they go right over that rail, and you can do this, and it's not a problem. The dimension between those 2 rails doesn't change. It always stays the same. Some manufacturers use a 5-wheel wheel carrier, and that's where you have your road wheel, guide wheel, and then you only have 1 upstop. Because you have 1 upstop, that creates a triangle between the wheels. Well, you have to change that dimension of the triangle as that rail chortles, as it goes like this. So if I do that same example, but now I have 3 like that. When I put it here, if I go like this, now this is loose underneath here. That upstop wheel is loose. And now if I do this, well, now that upstop wheel is too tight. So you can't put it right in the track like that. You have to space that upstop wheel down. And then every time the coaster transitions really hard from one side to another, you now have what's hop. You have this hop effect in there. And now you have the tolerance up and down of the rail, the tolerance of the rail getting bigger and smaller depending on the crush. And now you have this extra tolerance from the upstop wheel creating this hop, which means you're in the passenger area going all over the place and just getting hammered from every which direction. It's not fun. But that's the main one. That's the main one, is that wheel carrier difference. You'll notice if you see a ride and it's got 5 wheels, it's a lot bumpier than rides with 6 wheels on them. And then there's still some bumpy 6-wheel rides. Most manufacturers, their tolerances, the cheaper the ride is, the bigger the tolerance is. So really expensive rides like B&M roller coasters, their track tolerance is plus or minus 1 millimeter. Now it's not per side, per the other side. That is the entire rail distance, everything is plus or minus 1 millimeter. That is extremely tight. That costs a lot of money to maintain that, and it's amazing that they can maintain that. Other manufacturers, when they start getting in there, their tolerances start getting really wide. The cheaper the coasters are, it starts getting to like plus or minus 4 millimeters, plus or minus 5 millimeters, and next thing you know, you got a piece of spaghetti where a straight rail is supposed to be. It doesn't look good. So, but loosening the tolerances on those things, that's the first way to make a ride cheaper. And it really doesn't affect much. So it's a nasty little critter that builders can use, and they can kind of rebuttal on and say, well, you know, if we make the tolerance a little looser, the cost drops significantly. But they're also finding out that a lot of people don't want that these days, because you get more fatigue in the chassis and stuff like that, so they don't want to run it. But anyways, that's a real quick why our ride's so bumpy sometimes. But again, just a very tip of the iceberg, but it's a short video. All right. Have a good day. Ryan the Ride Mechanic. As always, like and subscribe. If you want to see more, let me know. Let me know topics you want to talk about. All right. Take care. Bye.